Oh, we are now live and we are going to talk about imposter syndrome because, in case you didn't recognize, I have been crying for too many hours in a row. And I have imposter syndrome, and I just want to kind of talk about why why it happens, why this space can be so difficult for you to get imposter syndrome. And my bestie and business partner, Jennifer, is going to come on and just kind of talk about what's going on. So she is here. And Jennifer, hi, you want to ask to join? Everybody, thank you so much for coming in. You know what imposter syndrome is, right? If you don't, imposter syndrome, I learned from Mel Robbins, and it's just pretty much where you feel like you're just not going to be good enough, right? You just don't understand why other people have things that you don't, right? So I have been feeling that lately. So we're going to bring Jennifer on and kind of talk. Ears clogged, people. I approved you. I accepted it, but it's... Oh, there you are. Hi, friend. How are you?
Hello. I am feeling like you today.
I'm just feeling deflated, right? Goodness gracious. I am feeling like there are only so many small wins you can celebrate, right?
Yeah.
Especially as an entrepreneur and especially in the online space, you want to celebrate small wins because sometimes it's all you've got. And I'm at the point where I'm getting tired of the small wins, man. And I'm looking for a big win. Where's that?
That just means it's around the corner.
Right? Does anybody that's in here, anybody that's joined, we're kind of talking about imposter syndrome and just kind of feeling like, how do you get through those feelings of, am I enough? Um, will I ever get to whatever XYZ goal it is that I'm trying to get to? So please drop a comment if you have experienced this. I know we all have in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Jennifer.
100%. I mean, it's been how many motivational conversations can you be part of? How much self-improvement can you do before you start thinking, is this really going to happen?
Yeah.
I think
And
that's kind of what's been dragging me along this whole time. Apart, finding people like yourself and the people that we've met and networked with in this time,
oh
it
yeah.
helps, because otherwise you're just kind of feeling left alone because you're an entrepreneur. You're doing this alone.
Alone.
So it's a very defeatist moment a lot of the time.
Right. And that's, I think, how I'm feeling. And I know that I'm winning, right? I know that I've come so far and I'm learning still, right? It's a constant. We're all trying to get better at everything that we're doing, regardless of what it is we're choosing to do at that moment in time. We're all trying to get better at something, right? That's humans. But it's so hard to put one foot in front of the other. And I'm just like, I think definitely having you for sure, because you were the first thing this morning, like, hey, take today, do what you got to do, but tomorrow we got to get over it. So Charlie, my family, those are, I leaned on you guys a lot just because I don't have that internal motivation. And I guess that's kind of how I deal with it, is like leaning on other people. And luckily we found each other, and luckily we're building our own community where we'll be able to be that for other people. So I'm excited about that.
That's what excites me too, is having the confidence to believe that I and you can build a community of people that are in the same kind of rut that we have been in. And I think that honestly, when I got started, I was going through so much postpartum depression with everything that was going on in my life then. Talking about that and just working through that emotion helped me personally. And I have grown and developed from that. So in the grand total of things, this is my second year officially this month September 4th is when I bought my very first challenge, and then I bought the blueprints on the 14th. Like, this is officially 2 years
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And so in all the time that I've gone through the learning process of developing a skill and then applying the skill and then kind of motivating myself, it has helped so much to have that network, that community of people to just say, oh, I feel like a failure. I feel like none of this is going to work.
Yeah.
Today is not my day. What do I do? How do I get through it? And um, the biggest part of it is manifesting it. And I got away from that for a while, just because it felt like it wasn't actually happening.
Yeah.
But there is something to it. Whether you believe in religion or you believe in a universe, there is an energy. I really feel like there is an energy out there in the world that will give back what you
Yeah.
put out.
Yeah.
So the more we do, the more we offer, the more we suggest help or whatever, that will just come back to us tenfold, and it will be rewarded to us in the long run, to anyone who is in the space that we're in. And you've you've had experience because your father was in marketing. Like, that was your family lifestyle. Me, I haven't. Like, this is all brand new for me. So the fact that we found each other, I think, just kind of solidified in my mind that this is where we're supposed to be right now.
Yeah.
um, and it's been so helpful. I know a couple weeks ago I was in the same spot you are in today, feeling just super down, like none of this is working, none of my effort is paying off. um, and that imposter syndrome really did sink in for a little bit there. But it's like, you know what, we all do need that mental break too.
Yeah.
And yeah, you do. You have to just give yourself kind of like I told you this morning, we're living in our moment right now. We're living our reality of 5 years from now. We're going to look back and say, it took me X number of years to reach this figure, to
Yeah.
reach this goal. And, this is the part of that real time that we're in.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great point, and how do you throw away, that's what Charlie was saying to me when I
Yeah.
was like, I'm so done, I'm so over this, and it's not fun anymore, right? And I said, as soon as it's not fun anymore, I don't want to do it anymore, because what's the point? Um, and he reminded me of all the fun things, number one. And then he's like, okay, so you're just gonna throw away literally everything that you've built. And I was like, oh God, no, I can't. I can't do that. You
Oh,
know.
of course not. And think about it like an employee standpoint, right? You started at a job. You weren't very good at that job. You were nervous. You were like, they're going to fire me because I made this one mistake.
Right.
I'm not going to have a job for the rest of my life. What am I going to do? You let the negativity kind of seep in. But then you also have to remind yourself that it's a learning curve in any skill, in any part of life.
Oh, yeah.
And so, definitely a part of building a business from scratch on your own, there's going to be a lot of those bumps and those molehills and those mountains, those valleys, those plateaus. And honestly, I think what a part of it is too, don't forget, is that the digital marketing space was convoluted for a very long time by a lot of people just grabbing people for sales. And that turns off a lot of the following.
Yeah.
That turns off a lot of the viewers. I remember making a content post, trying to bring awareness to the fact that you can be an affiliate just by showing a product on your page. And somebody's like, is everybody trying to make a sale now? And I'm like, basically, if you're on social media.
I mean, basically, that is so true. And sometimes you just don't even know it, right? You're like, oh, wow, I really love those boots she's wearing. And you go
Yeah.
to Amazon and, oh, here's the Amazon link. Yeah, they're getting paid for that.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is the person, the individual who's behind on the other side of that camera that you're watching, they've either learned very early on how to do very well, or it took them a very long time to do very well.
Right.
One or the other. This is, for some, it's an extreme natural thing to just appear on a camera and just start talking and saying, oh, hey guys, this is my life today. By the way, I love this beeswax chapstick over here. This
Right.
brand is the best, and this is
Right.
why. Some people can just pull it out their butt and just be like, I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
For others, it's a brand new
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
and
it's a
we're
learning.
millennials.
You got to learn.
You got to learn it. We're the generation that we're the last generation to know what life was without social media. And so it's a whole other kind of world to grasp hold of it and understand it. Yeah, I knew I could post a picture on social media and my friends and family would see it. That was 13 years ago. I didn't know that today I'd be trying to build a business
Right.
online. And
Yeah.
it's been a wild ride. And I get that too. Like I get that where I've put in the work, I've put in the effort. Um, People are seeing the content, but why isn't anyone buying? And I think after listening to one of the mentors that we're both following today, the best part about it is the storytelling.
Yeah.
That to me is kind of where I've fallen down. I've dropped the ball on that a little bit because when you start to tell your story, that's how you're connecting to your
Yeah.
audience. That's how you're being the vulnerable part of yourself that's so authentic it cannot be stolen. And if somebody is stealing it, well, shame on them because they really don't understand what they're doing themselves. If
Right.
they have to take your entire story for their own, they just don't know what they're doing and run.
Right. Exactly. Or if they're only talking about how much money they've made.
Or if they're only slapping the amount of money that they've made, honestly, they made that money because they started out on some sort of something else and they built a following already. They
Yeah.
don't just come online and say, "Oh my God, I just bought this yesterday and 24 hours later I'm making money." That is a
Right.
unicorn statement. That
Right.
is a magic unicorn statement. It happens. I'm not saying it's never happened. It's a rarity in the space that we're in. And if you see that being plastered on so many of these other pages, it's take it with a grain of salt, right? Don't believe everything you see online. Question it. Be
Yeah.
skeptical. Ask a question. Ask them a serious question. And if they're not able to explain in great detail, or sorry, in simplified detail, they themselves don't understand how they did it.
Yep.
If they can't explain it to you in a simple format or in an analogy that makes sense for you, then they don't themselves know what they're doing and they're just simply either taking information that they got from someone else and they're
Yep.
hoping you don't question it because you're so desperate to find an answer or they just got lucky in some kind of a way. So yeah, the imposter syndrome is why are they doing so well,
Yep.
getting all of these people asking for their information? Why are we over here putting in the work, doing the daily grind in what we are doing? And it's like, well, we're the nobody's seeing us, and it's just a
Yeah.
little irritating.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. It's like I I have come across some of those larger, accounts, and I see the amount of comments that they have, the amount of leads that I get. And I'm thinking, they're gonna give them, like, it's all automated, right? Like, it's all automated. And like, you're gonna buy from them and they're not gonna care. They're not gonna help you. You're probably not gonna get an email, right? Like, depending on the person. So it's just it's hard to sit back and watch that, especially knowing what we know, and having
Yeah,
sat where we have sat in the past and seen what we've seen. So, because we've been around for 2 years. So,
I agree, and I think that's what we were in the same community, learning from individuals who did almost take off right away, and they became an overnight success
right.
unknowingly. It was a complete rando thing, and we thought that if we were to listen to them long enough, they would be able to tell us and explain to us in a very simple to understand way. Unfortunately, one of them did well explaining some stuff, but didn't really understand how some other things worked. And then the other person, they were just kind of, I feel like they're floating around for the ride.
Yeah.
They were just sort of riding the wave of people just being in awe of what they had
Yeah.
accomplished.
Yeah.
And there were some who just kind of copy and pasted what those people were doing.
Right.
I myself was one. I did some of that same stuff, but it didn't feel right. It did not feel authentic. And what I'm talking about are the side hustle
Yeah.
claims, the ones where you spend 30 minutes writing out a transcript and you get paid thousands of dollars. That is not people are not dumb. People will go and
Right.
they will look and they will research, and then they'll come back and they'll let you know that's not real. If you post that job posting, it won't be available to everybody. So why are you doing it?
Yeah.
It's a clickbait. Being able to know what those are and point those out, today it feels really good.
It does. It really does.
And being able to say i'm I'm more confident now, knowing that I made that mistake, but I learned why it's not a good one,
Yeah.
and what can I do to be better. That just makes me feel better in my content. And I know, that when the imposter syndrome kind of floats around in my brain, I'm like, yeah, but look at how far I've come.
Yeah.
Where did I start? What was I doing? And now what am I doing today? And it just, and like Charlie was saying, like, all of that we've learned, we're not just going to throw it away. We're not
Right.
just going to give it up. It is frustrating. And I do feel you on, why aren't the sales coming in? Why aren't people wanting what we offer? And, I think some of that, and maybe we can work on this on some collaborations. Maybe we can do some more lives together. I think that might help, having more people, asking, how do I learn? What do I do? I like the fact that we have our group and then we're going to be helping people for free inside of our own group,
Right.
because
And go
that
live.
just good to me. That's just boosting my confidence to know that I'm able to teach what I've learned
Right.
and understand it.
And
I've not mastered it, but it helps.
being able to have that live time where people can ask those questions instead of it just being like in a Facebook comment or a Facebook post or whatever.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm excited. I'm excited as we grow and build and more people come in and ask questions, to just share all the crazy shit that we've learned and gone through and tried and failures and wins, and so
totally.
yeah.
And I already love, I don't know who it is. It's Stephanie, I think, in our group right now. And she's already
I
like making me think. She's asking questions, and I'm over here like, well, I don't know what that is. So now I have to go find the answer so that I can answer the question.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but that's so good, that people are coming into our new community already, and they're just they're just firing out questions. And I'm like, I need to know the answer to that myself. So I will do some research and I'll come back and respond. And that's honestly, that's how I do my day job. Like, that's what I do in my work now. If somebody's asking me, how is this happening? I have to go and find the answer so I can help that person. And so it's just the same. I mirror the same kind of thing that I do in my day job. And I'm enjoying, I'm getting people asking me to do a free
Yeah.
audit. I'm looking at their account and I'm saying, I don't know how to do that. That's a completely different niche from what I'm doing, but I'm excited to see other people want to know how to use these skills for what they know. And
Yeah.
I'm just amazed at these different categories that people believe and know that they can earn an income through. And
I
I'm
know.
like, this is amazing. And it's just getting past those, like you're saying in the beginning of this live, is imposter syndrome. Just understanding and believing at some point, there, it used to be a fake it till you make it kind of mentality, but then it more morphed into like, what is it? What is the phrase? Think your way into or act your way into a new way of thinking.
Yeah.
Don't think your way into a new way of acting, or something like
Yeah.
that. And that one has always stuck with me. And again, that's from a mentor that we learned from in a course that we purchased, and we learned all that we know. And that's a over decades worth of information
Yep.
that person shared. And hearing that over and over again, it's really true. Like, you just have to push through, and remember all the stuff that we've learned, um, where we were making the mistakes, and now we're able to just sit here. And I'm loving the fact that you and I can text and be like, so this is one thing I have, and then your response is exactly what I was thinking in my head. Like, finding people in our community, that we can have these kinds of conversations
Yeah.
with, is so reassuring, in my opinion. And I
Yeah.
think that's what helps build our own community.
Yeah. And then not feeling so alone all the
That
time.
was so helpful I was afraid of talking to you when I first saw you in that group. I was so scared. I'm like, well, this girl's way too wild. She will not want to talk to me. I am far too, I can be. I think at that point in my life, I was just so like down on myself and like nobody's going to want to be interested in talking to me.
I know
But
you. So you've so much. You've grown so much since then. Just like loving yourself. It's been beautiful to watch
thank you. And
as your friend.
that's partly you. I mean, that's partly
Oh,
you.
thank you.
That's partly just talking with other
Oh,
people that have felt the same way. And I started out wanting to help postpartum moms. That was my original goal. Was that I wanted to be able to create like a course and bring postpartum moms through the stages of depression, and help them understand the emotions that they may not have even known they were feeling.
mhm.
Um, I have personally kind of moved on from those feelings myself because I've personally grown from that stage. I know that there is help that needs to be made. People do need that, and that's a space in the future that I might explore. But currently, right now, I'm just happy being able to help
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
and create this network of like minded social media content creators who just want to learn the how,
yeah.
right? I'm still learning the how, and I'll share with you everything I know because I learned from you, Candace. I learned from the mentors that we're following,
Yep,
and the people that comment negativity, they're hating on the fact that you're making moves and they're not.
yeah.
Like there was one post that you did, and I actually commented back on it because I went to that person. I looked at their profile. Their account is on private, but their profile, the bio of who they are and what they do, they're displaying that proudly.
Right,
But then they're coming and talking smack on your page, and one of their foundational statements that they have is
right,
motivation. And I'm like, okay, but that negativity, not motivating.
right.
So either you suck in your job or you're just a reflection of yourself right now, saying the crap that you're saying.
Yeah,
So people are going to hate in everything we do only because they're jealous of where you are already. Like you have gone above and beyond what they couldn't do. And it's just for me a motivating thing to remind myself that I'm one step ahead, and
yeah.
I want to tell everybody about it.
Right,
I just want to share the whole thing. And for people who just don't want to know, I'm not your cup of tea. Please
right.
go move along.
Yeah.
You don't have to know.
Maybe I'm just not it for you.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not the one.
And how many times have we done a live together, and I have already seen so many people saying how much they love your content. Like you're getting a following of people who just love you, and the rest of it will come. It will happen. I truly do believe in that.
It will. It will. I just, I need this. I need internal and external motivation when the imposter syndrome rolls around. That is exactly what we're doing in our brand new Facebook group, in our community. So if
I'm
anybody
very excited
wants
for it.
in, make sure you message me or Jennifer. You can grab either one of us, send us a DM. You can even just say join or group. You don't have to send anything major, and we'll get you signed up. It's totally free,
For sure.
and we're we're excited about where it's going already. So
I'm very pumped about it. I do also want to remind everybody too is that Candace and I are trying to offer free audits too to anybody who is interested in creating content, wants to know maybe some tips or some support that they might need. And we want to look at your stuff and let you know where we can help.
did you freeze? I think Jennifer may have froze, and if it's me, then I will just say that we are doing free audits. And if you are interested in getting an audit done, make sure you send us a DM as well. Just comment audit or DM us with audit. So I think I may have lost Jennifer. Yep, I lost her. So, but yeah, we're doing free audits as well, um, for members of our group. So if you are interested in joining our free Facebook group, please don't forget to DM one of us, myself or Jennifer. And thanks so much for this. It has been great. I had a rough day yesterday, and I had major imposter syndrome. So this has been great. And thank you guys for